Prophet ﷺ said that a man follows the religion of his best friend. And this is something everyone knows and everyone's heard. You are the middle of the 5 people you're most around. Well, what if I told you nowadays it goes even further than that? See, because with the advent of the internet, people are all interconnected. And that means it's not just about the people you are around physically. Now, most of the influence actually comes from the things you are consuming digitally. Content creators like me and other people you watch. That's why they're called influencers. The more I look around, the more I realize this is a root cause for almost every single problem we have in our life. It's because of influencers pushing a certain message and people taking that in. And nowadays, because we're so addicted to our phones and our screens, we're being influenced almost 24/7. People have this misconception that the only problem with spending time on your phone is the fact that you're wasting time. But this is actually not true. The thing is, most of the time you're consuming content, and the content you consume actually has an influence on you. It shapes your thoughts. And you probably already know that it has some effect on your thoughts, but you probably don't know the extent of it. Because if you think about it, thoughts bring about desires. In fact, every single action, every single sin starts out as a passing thought. And that passing thought might have come about just because you watched this certain video maybe a day ago. So that's the real danger in it. Not just that you're wasting time, but you're also filling your mind up with so many negative thoughts. These negative thoughts produce a very evil feedback loop. It makes you have certain thoughts which bring about certain desires, and that causes you to sin, and that makes the thoughts even stronger. And this feedback loop keeps going, and you keep feeding it because of the fact you're watching the same bad content over and over again. And that's why you see the people who are chronically online, the people who are on Instagram or Twitter or on YouTube for 8 hours a day, they're the ones that commit a lot more sins. And if you're this person yourself, you'll understand that when you binge for that long, you don't feel connected to Allah. And not only that, but your desires are probably sparked. You probably want to go and commit sins a lot more than the person who spends his day worshiping. But here's the thing, it's not all bad. See, that was a negative feedback loop, but you could actually turn this into a positive feedback loop. If you consume content that's actually good for you, it would lead to positive thoughts. And those positive thoughts will lead to positive desires. And at the end of the day, it would lead to action that would benefit you. So the real solution is not just cutting off content altogether. Although if you're on it for like 8 hours a day or very long, you should probably cut it down a lot shorter. But what you should really do instead is change that negative content into positive content. Things like Islamic lectures, things like reminders, things like this video. And when I say that, I'm not just trying to get you to watch. I'm telling you for a fact, if you watch good videos, you're actually going to want to do good things. And so really, this is one of the easiest changes you can implement in your life. A lot of people, for example, when they are eating lunch, they'll watch a video with it. Why don't you, instead of watching a random video or scrolling when you're eating your lunch, watch a powerful lecture or a powerful reminder? And that way you're actually gaining knowledge at the same time you're eating, when instead you could be doing something haram or leading to something haram. Now that's the problem with content, things like Twitter, YouTube, whatever else, but there's also music that you have to be wary of. In fact, music might be even more dangerous than content itself, because music is very addictive, right? You get songs stuck in your head, and it actually infiltrates your subconscious mind. And I know this might sound like fake or a conspiracy or whatever else, but just trust me. If you look at the lyrics of songs, you'll realize most people are saying things without even realizing what they're saying. You look at the lyrics and you realize that there's so much filth and evil stuff they're saying, but they don't even realize it because it sounds good. The reason why I say it infiltrates your subconscious mind is because just look at the people who listen to music the most. A lot of times they're going to say the same things that they hear in their songs, and a lot of times that's going to be filthy and evil things. If you look at the people who listen to music the most, there are also people who commit a lot more sins than a person who doesn't listen to any music. And this is not to knock on anyone or attack anyone, but it's just the truth. Music has this effect on you that makes you so much more desirous and makes you commit more sins. And you might not understand this now if you're a person who listens to music, but trust me, if you cut out music, you'll realize that you'll be able to control your mind a lot easier. Like, a lot of people's thoughts are all over the place. They can't actually control their mind, and they can't control what to think about. If you had that ability to control your thoughts and control your desires, then breaking away from sins would be so much easier. The reason why this effect happens is because music makes you emotional. And emotions are one of the things that really change your thought patterns. You'll see a person, for example, when they're sad or depressed, they'll listen to a sad or depressing song. But they don't realize that listening to that song just feeds that bad feedback loop and makes them even more depressed and more sad. It makes them more into that bad emotion. But again, there's a positive to this, and this is the advice you probably heard before, but replace it with Quran. If you replace it with Quran, you'll actually start to get positive feedback loops. You'll actually start to have random feelings of gratitude or have random feelings of high iman just because you listen to Quran. In the same way that content influences your thoughts, Quran will also influence your thoughts, but in a positive way. You'll start getting random thoughts of Quran verses and positive messages, and you'll get so much farther just because you have these random positive thoughts coming up in your mind, and those things are actually going to push you to do good deeds. So the real power with influences is understanding thought loops, because thought loops can spiral your life down or they can spiral your life up. These things work exponentially. Anyways, I just want you to review all the influences you have in your life. Of course, it is physical with your friends, but look at the content you're consuming. You could look at your YouTube search history, for example. That's a very good place to start. And look at the videos that you're watching and when you're watching them. Are they beneficial? Are you learning things from them? Or are they just mindless entertainment? If they are mindless entertainment, you could just, replace them with my videos. That's all I have for this video. Don't forget to not stop making dua to Allah. Check out Clean Islamic Streetwear in the description. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.